to another edition of Poverest Sunday Lunchtime Bites. It's great to be here by the sea. I just decided to take a couple of hours out and be by the water for a while. I was reading in the Gospel of Mark about Jesus and how often he would preach with the sea behind him, or even from a boat on the sea. I was wondering about that, what that was about, whether it was simply convenient or whether there was some purpose in it. Perhaps Jesus was trying to clear the background from people's view so they could just focus on him. They had so much going on in their lives, there's so many difficulties. He just wanted to help them to see that if they focused on him, then they'd get a message that would really help them. And maybe that's why he had the sea as his backdrop, as his background so often. The Jews were famously scared of the sea, maybe not the Sea of Galilee, but certainly the Mediterranean. In fact, if you go to Revelation, it says that heaven will be a place where there is no sea. And that's because there was a fear in the sea and what it held. And the wonderful thing about focusing on Jesus is that he deals with our fears. He helps us walk through them. Though we walk through the shadow of the valley of the shadow of death, we will fear no ill, because our God is with us and walks with us. So I hope you enjoyed this edition, and I'll give you one more look at the sea. at Poverest Road we have a really good number of young people ranging from 3 years old up to 18, 19 years old. And we run various groups for them. We've continued some of them during lockdown, but of course we'd really like to be back together running our normal collection of meetings with them. I asked Naomi if she'd just give us an understanding of the work that's going on with our young people and what our prospects and ambitions are for the future. Okay, well, thanks Naomi for joining me to tell me a bit about youth work and youth work particularly at Poverest. I've got some questions for you. The first one is, why are children so important in a church, any church?
Well, I think children are important in any church because they are equal individuals, and there's no one part of any church which is more important or less important than anyone else. We're all part of a body, we've all got a role to play, and you don't click into having a role when you hit 18. You have a role right from the very beginning, and so children are important in any church because they bring particular qualities and characteristics to that being part of the church body, which is really exciting to work alongside. And it's great to see children taking on taking responsibility for their bit of the church, for the relationships they have with those who are older than them and younger than them, those part of their family, their physical, biological family, and those who are part of their church family. And it's lovely to see children taking their part fully. Okay,
so I'm glad you didn't say children are the church of the future. What you're really saying is children are the church now.
A really important part of the church now, just as older people are important in the church now, and young adults are important in the church now, and people of my age and your age, we've all got an important part to play.
Okay, so what provision does Poverest Road Baptist Church particularly make for young people?
We seem to have an awful lot of boys in our church, so that makes Sunday school quite energetic and energy filled, which is good fun. So yes, on a Sunday afternoon in our service we have Sunday school. We have one group for those of primary age and just below, and then one group for secondary age. And then once a month we have groups for different age groups. So we have a group running called Sparks, which is for junior school age. And then we have another group called Jam, which is for lower secondary school age, so years 7 to 9. And then we have a 14 plus group and a 17 plus group, all on either on a Saturday or a Sunday evening once a month.
Okay. So what do you, apart from what you said earlier about the importance of seeing children as being part of the church now, what are your guiding principles when you're working and being with youth?
I guess for me it's the same principle that guides all that we're trying to do at Poverest, trying to make sure that our focus is always on Jesus, encouraging the young people to see that they can have a relationship with Jesus themselves. It's not something that's inherited, it's not something that comes later in their lives, it can be for right now. And so our focus is always on building that relationship with Jesus, understanding his word well, being able to learn how to read it, how to apply it to their lives. We try and do that in an age appropriate way, wherever, in whatever we do. And then at the weekends, making sure that they have really good fun, so that they know that being part of a church family equals being in a place where they can have fun, where they can be with their friends, where they can be themselves, where they feel comfortable, where they can invite friends to. It's part of what we're trying to build, that church is a really good place to be, and they can be part of that and shape that, and it's for them and run by them and part of their normal lives.
Okay, so finally, what plans do you have for the future?
Well, we are limited in what we can do really by the number of adults who are able to be present and facilitate the kids. It's great at weekends to see lots of friends of our regular church-going kids coming along. So we have quite a wide group for each of those four groups that I mentioned, where people are coming who don't normally go to church, who don't have anyone in their family who goes to church. It's a really good opportunity for us to be able to introduce them to the Christian faith. We'd love to do more of that, and we would like those groups to happen more often than once a month. But it's just the problem of not having enough adults who are really ready to build into that.
Okay.
So we'd really like in the future, near future, in the imminent future, to be able to bring on board a youth pastor who could work at Poverest, who could aid us in that and really push this vision forward. We'd love to start a youth club for those who live adjacent to the church. That just needs someone with dedicated time and energy and skills to be able to get that up and off the ground and running.
Great.
So yeah, that's what we're going to work to. That's what we are working towards now. We really want to see this person that we're praying for come into being.
Great. Well, thank you for those very candid answers, and we're looking forward to the future. We're praying that our young people really get to know the Lord, of course, and that more and more get drawn in, and that we do get that kind of support you're talking about. So thanks a lot.
Okay.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Sunday Lunchtime Bites. There'll be more next week at 1 o'clock, a variety of different things that we hope to put together. If you'd like to join us at 3:30 today, this afternoon, we have a regular Zoom meeting. Please feel free to contact me either via the website or my number or email, and we can give you the codes for that meeting. Please join us if you'd like to. So bye for now, and see you next week.